And we're back on the show floor here in Hall C at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center in beautiful, rainy, foggy Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the SIGCSE Coffee Break show, the show about everything going on at the SIGCSE Technical Symposium. My name is Mark Sherriff. Brianna got tied up somewhere at the last minute, so I'll run solo for a minute, which is totally fine, but the show must go on. It's just the way it works. So hopefully you are having a good time at home. Hopefully you're kicking back with your favorite snack and drink, and that you are enjoying everything that's going on. I hope you got to watch the first timers lunch. I thought Ben and Lena did a great job. It was kind of funny. If you couldn't tell on the video, so when they had people break out to go do various different, like meet people at your table sort of stuff. So there was one table that would not come back at all. And Lena just dropped into teacher mode. It's like, is there a question that I need to answer for you all? It was absolutely hysterical. So if you didn't get to see that, I'm sorry, but it was great. Let's talk about what's coming up. So as I look down here at the syllabus, at 3:45 today, there are 2 online sessions that you can take part in. There is the fully online paper session, CS1 teaching. So make sure you find the Zoom link for that in the email that you received this morning from the virtual and hybrid staff. There's also a panel that's going to be available for everyone. Innovative approaches to CS education research that enable all students. What is with us with long names? I mean, that sounds great. It's just a long name. I will be my own panel, which unfortunately is not being broadcast, but it'll be fun and exciting. I certainly hope so. So that will close out for today. So after the SIGCSE Coffee Break show, there is the session at 3:45. You got your choice there, but make sure you are back here at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow for something new. What we're going to do this time is there's going to be a panel discussion with all of the SIGCSE award winners for this year, which is very different, but it's a great way for us to recognize all of the award winners at one time. And so I'm looking forward to it. I think that's gonna be awesome. And then at 10 a.m. tomorrow, Coffee Break show, the Tres Amigos episode with myself and Manuel Perez Quinones and Alvaro Monhi and the keynote speaker from this morning. So look forward to that. And you can see we've already got some of the sessions down for tomorrow that we hope you get to come and see. So yeah, things are picking up down here on the show floor. The last session, the 1:45 session, finished up. People are coming to get their chips and coffee ahead of the next session. But we actually have something else going on here, and I promised pictures. Gosh darn it, we have dinosaurs. So here's some pictures of the dinosaurs of Jurassic Quest. I bought my ticket, which it wasn't until after I bought my ticket that I realized how weird it was that a single dude with no kids is going to go to the dinosaur bouncy house exhibit. But my 10-year-old insisted I go. So I'm going to go, but you can see, here's some pictures. After I go tomorrow, I'll have pictures on the Saturday show. Maybe of me riding a dinosaur. I don't know. So this is going to be a little bit of a shorter show. I actually have a presentation this year. I know. I can see the shock on your face that I actually got something accepted. But we're going to talk to some folks that we really haven't gotten to ever talk to on, not even really, we haven't. And so I am super, super happy to have Stacy Ogren and Larry Huttinger. Please come on. You're right. Just come right on. Right, see? So you can see yourself right there from DL Plan. Now, I know that you hear all the time about the SIGCSE volunteers, the members of the community that do the reviewing and help do the presentations and set up the program and all that sort of stuff. But behind the scenes, and if you've been here, we say it on the screen at the end, thanks to DL Plan. That is never enough to really explain all of the things that these folks, and it's not just these two. I mean, we've been fortunate enough to work with these two for years and years now. There's been a host of folks from DL Plan that have come in and out throughout time. Back to Dorothea Heck, who I worked with when I was symposium chair. And thank y'all so much for coming and talking to me.
Thanks for having us, Mark.
I know, it's so great. And so, yeah. So what I'm really kind of curious about, and I think folks might be interested in, is what does it take to put on a conference of, I mean, I know we're not your biggest clients.
Actually, pretty close.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Brianna's down here. Yay! That's great. What does it take? Like, how many person hours? How many ahead of time? Like, just what's the process?
That's a big question.
It is a big question.
First, I mean, it starts about 18 months of planning, pre-planning before we actually get on site. It starts with the contracting the venues and then moves into planning the logistics and the different vendors that come in. And that's where my team comes in. We're actually one of the vendors that ACM hires to help me with the logistics. And so we help with everything from sponsorships and exhibits and then logistics, which is AV, internet, food and beverage, the carpet that's in the exhibit hall, building the exhibit hall, all of the signage, coordinating with speakers. And
I mean, I'm gonna jump back really quick to the floor picture here. So, I mean, just looking at this shot right here, y'all had a hand in everything you see here. Everything from the carpet on the floor to the booths that are set up to the break tables that are over there. There's a demo station on the far side, even to the badges that we're wearing. So let me go back to the guest panel. So, like for instance, these are sponsored by Ed Discussion. I'm sure y'all had a hand in.
Yes.
Talking to them.
yes, it's bigger than you think it would be.
It's unbelievable. So how big is the team here on site?
We have 5 on site, but we actually have how many? 5 or 6 in the office that do all the pre-planning. So, it sounds like a lot of work, but we divide and conquer.
So I'm Brianna. Sorry I'm late. There was a good session. So, what?
No, it's just what happens in SIGCSE.
No.
It's fine.
I just want to say that I worked on the registration team for the last 3 years, and so as part of the reg team, worked very closely with DL Plan and cannot tell you how fabulous they are in all of the work that they do, and they make us look really good. And because I'm planning ICER this year, I now know all that they did.
As soon as we don't have them, we don't know what to do.
Yes. As soon as I go, oh, this is something DL Plan would have done. Yeah, DL Plan would have taken care of this. DL Plan would have done this. DL Plan would have done this. But no, I'm doing it. It's great. Yes.
So jump to Larry in this. How did you get involved in this career path? Like what drove you to be excited about this?
At college, I graduated with a degree in environmental studies, and it didn't mesh well with who I was, but I didn't realize that until it was pointed out by some company I worked for, which was a winery. The owner had said, what was I thinking? That was his message to me as I graduated that same week. So I was pretty shocked by the fact that he shared that, because I thought, wow, was I that clueless? And I guess the truth is I was. And so in the end, he offered me a job in a restaurant he was going to open, but he couldn't get a liquor license for a second operation, which would have been about 5 miles down the road from the original winery site. So he apologized and said, I just don't have this for you, and realized it triggered in my mind to consider looking at hospitality as a whole as a career. And that led me to work as a tour director for a large travel company out of East Providence in Rhode Island. And then that led me to work in the casino industry over a period of almost 10 years in hotel management positions. And then eventually I just decided, after a lot of factors, including burnout and rifts that took place in the industry at the time, because it was a volatile industry. It was really the second state in the country back in the 70s to have casino gaming, next to Nevada. I started a company with just ideas that came really from me by reading an article in a major publication of the trade magazine called Successful Meetings. Inspired by the article, reached out to the people interviewed from all over the country and said, what does it take to start a business like that? And I launched it. And so now we're at 38 years this year. I've had clients that have been with us for at least 30 plus years. But I want to put in perspective of our work with you that's been an amazing journey. One of them is to get acclimated to ACM out of New York, and then to know that you're one of the most significant SIGs that they have. and then we became acclimated to all the different aspects of our role. But Stacy has the big role. Her role is really like and I'm a big fan of movies. Really, she's like the producer director. And we're all, and we all, the staff, including me in my position as the director of the company, owner, is that I look at myself as a production assistant along with all the other staff. And so she kind of creates the vibe, creates the energy, and creates the direction and just the vision of what we need to do to take it to the goal line, the finish line. And so that's really where it comes together. And then on site, there's 5 of us currently, and our jobs vary in what we're doing to cover all the different areas because there are many facets to your convention, including registration, which is a big part.
Yeah.
Also, exhibit management. We're on the exhibit floor now and working with sponsors, trying to make sure that they get the attention they need because they're helping underwrite the cost and funding of this amazing convention. And then the last thing is the meeting management with all the speakers from the plenaries of these high-level speakers you're bringing to all the workshops and different sessions that go on continually for several days.
Yeah.
And some of them start as early as 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning, and they go all the way till 10 o'clock at night.
Yes, they do.
So they're long days, but with the team and working really carefully in the planning through the great support that we get directed by Stacy, we make it all work.
And Angelina as well.
Angelina.
We're co-producer directors.
Yes.
So, and I'll also say one of the things that being in the software biz, right, the thing that I most appreciate is that after every conference, there's like a postmortem. There's a chance to say what went right, what went wrong, where can we improve, and that happens every year. So that's how we can, our DL plan can help us to continually improve year after year, which I think is so helpful because as things change or as we have to adopt to new sceneries and new environments, then we can also give that feedback to you that goes into the planning for the next, which is just awesome.
And we do, like I said, thank you, Stacy, for mentioning Angelina. So sometimes you remember all those things in front in a setting like this. But yes, Angelina's had a long-term relationship with the company also. She has a major pivotal role. And I would say, yes, probably truly, we're both co-directors, co-producers, and then all of us, including me, fall under that group because there's so many different facets to make it work. And I think that's not always done in every component in other companies the way they're structured as meeting management companies like we are. Sometimes they have just 1 or 2 assigned, but we find it's more universally better for us because then we have more eyes on the experience. We're mindful and immersed a little bit more, and we have a broader basic perspective that we would not have if there was just 2 people that were focused exclusively on the conference.
Right.
And we do that with most of the programs and projects we work on, and we have for many years. Yes.
I'm curious because sponsors are always a tricky thing, right? Because part of it is trying to convince them the value add of coming to a place like this, and I mean some of them certainly who are offering CS education tools, like there's a definite connection there. But when y'all are working with, I guess the SIGCSE board exhibitor folks, also there's some liaisons there. Like, how do you go about trying to find options for folks that can help us out? Because as we know, the costs for the symposium, we try to keep it off the registrants as much as possible, but with hybrid, with online, this is something we also have to consider. Like, how challenging is that?
It's something that we rely heavily on your community to help us with because we're meeting planners, we're not computer scientists. And so the connections that you all have through your universities and the products that you use really help us to go forward and say, you give us a contact and we say, okay, here we have these opportunities. Would this be beneficial to you? How can we collaborate?
And again, they add value, of course, if those relationships are sealed and delivered with the requirements that and expectations they have. But those relationships build over time. They don't happen in our first year. They might happen over several years. But most of the sponsors have had long-term relationships with you, and they recognize this is an audience they want to reach.
Yeah.
And so as long as we can give them access, which is what this convention does, then they're more than happy to support in different ways, from sponsoring lanyards to sponsoring or supporting the program book, to every aspect of what goes on with, sponsoring an event, an evening event, a reception.
Yeah, the reception is going to be tonight. Sorry you don't get to come. It looks going to be it's going to be very pretty looking. Anyway.
And in all the industries that we get to work in over the years, they all have different challenges, but at the same point, there are similarities. But as Stacy clearly identified, and I appreciate, is that we do rely on the community because, as I shared even today and yesterday in some meetings, we need that information to really take that and transcend that into something that allows them to have access, but also provides financial support so this can continue for many years to come.
So, question, if somebody out there had information about a particular company that they think might be interested in becoming a sponsor at the Technical Symposium and being able to have access to this kind of audience, who should they contact?
So my initial thoughts are that they reach out to maybe the new chairs of SIGCSE, or someone in the committee that they might know, or just put a message out there to someone that they might know through the association, because that can then be a vehicle to get that information to us.
The bubbling up through the community channels.
Right.
They don't need to know your personal email. They just,
And I didn't figure. I just wanted
what that allows is, if it goes through that channel, we're more comfortable and confident that it's a good thing.
Right.
Because we want to make sure that everyone is taking their time and using it wisely. So it goes through those channels. People in the organization can say, I don't know that fits. So they may reach out to them again to get clarity, because remember, we have emerging companies in a very strong, technologically developed nation that continues to see opportunities that young people especially, I don't mean that they're the only ones, but are coming out of colleges doing graduate work.
There are new companies here, even this year, that I'm going, wow, this is really cool that you've started this and that you're providing the solution, right? So it's somebody I might not have heard of, right? So, but I do know that the board appoints 2 liaisons, right? 2 exhibitor liaisons who are generally ex-symposium chairs, right? And so they would have a really good feel. So I know they're listed under the committee.
Yep.
So you could certainly email them.
And they're on
new ideas, right? Yeah. Yeah.
So they can find it on the website.
Yeah, they could find it on the website. So please, do reach out with all of those new ideas, because it is grassroots. It's the community that provides us with these. You have a grad student who's going to launch a startup. Maybe they want to be here next year.
and I promise they didn't tell me to say this, but since we have them here, we've already been heaping praise on them. We can't thank you enough for everything you have been doing for the symposium for over the years. We literally couldn't do this without you. They're really great, y'all. So if you've just found this video, it's really great. But thank you so much for coming and talking to us
so much.
and giving us a little picture into how things work for folks that haven't been behind the scenes like we have. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It truly takes a community to put on an event like this. So, it's not just our team, it's our team working with your team. So
Right.
It's been great.
But you make it much easier.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yes,
Mark and Miranda.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, all right. See you guys around.
You made it.
I did. Sorry, I was late. I literally was asking the last question in my session.
Was it a good session?
It was a good
What was it
session.
about?
So, David Malin, and
is that-
it was all about sharing resources amongst universities. And,
Yep.
how to support that. So it was the idea of somebody creates a course and you want to offer that version at your institution. How do you make that work?
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Was it a panel or special?
It was a
session?
panel.
It was a panel.
Yes, it was a panel.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm not going to remember the other 2 gentlemen who spoke, but one was from Yale and one was from Miami-Dade.
Right.
Yes.
We could look it up. But
we
that's
could
okay.
look it up,
That's
yes,
okay.
I'm
I'm sure.
sorry, yes.
I'm sure that. Well, I mean, knowing David, you could email him. and
Yes,
probably-
absolutely, yes.
Although
yes,
he
yes,
probably gets a lot of email. I would think he does. So you didn't miss much. You came
Okay.
here in time for the conversation with them, which is great.
Okay.
But the thing you did miss was dinosaurs.
Did I miss the dinosaurs?
I talked about the dinosaur. I
Okay.
bought my ticket. Yeah, I'm good. So my daughter is very intent on having a picture of me riding a dinosaur.
Okay.
But as I was telling our friends at home, I don't know what it's going to look like if this single 45-year-old man rolls up at the kitty saying,
Go early.
yeah, my ticket's for 3:00.
Oh, today?
No, tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. So I figure tomorrow I'll do the show at 3:00, and then I'll leave from here and go directly to ride a dinosaur, and then I'll go to the SIGCSE board meeting, which is just exactly the type of day you want to have.
So I could stand in the walkway and take a picture of you riding.
You could.
Good.
You could. That's where I took
Okay,
these pictures
there you
from.
go.
Was upstairs from the walkway. So there you go. Well, we are cutting it a little bit shorter today, or for this episode, because like I told you at the beginning, I actually have a submission. Someone's crazy enough to let me actually talk at the symposium other than this.
I know.
I know. What is the world coming to? It really is crazy. So anyway, really quickly, let us jump back to the syllabus really quick so you know what you're doing. So again, this is not a talk. This is it's a conversation.
Okay.
Sure, there you go. What do you like here?
Oh, so CS1 teaching is always interesting.
It is.
It is, because like we still don't know how to do it right. So
That's why we're here.
that's why we're here. We're all trying to get better. Yes. I know what's going to be in the innovative approaches in CS Ed research, because that's Monica McGill. Which is always awesome. Yeah. Great. Yes. So, it would be tough to pick between those two.
Yeah. So at home, get a coin, ding, and see which one it lands on.
Yeah.
And that's where you can go.
Okay, nope. I'm changing my mind. I would definitely go to the panel. So one of my very first or second technical symposium,
Yeah.
the piece of advice that was given to me that said if you have to choose between something,
True.
always go to the one that's live and not a paper session, because you can always read the papers
later. Yeah.
So I would go to the panel. There you go.
No, yeah, that's a good call. That's a pro move right there. That's a pro move. But there is no doubt that at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow, you need to tune in for the plenary session at 8:30 tomorrow, when we are going to hear from all of the award winners.
Yeah.
They have to all talk at the same time. All of them.
No, one at a time. But there will be time for questions, so you can start thinking about your questions. And I know they're going to accept questions from online. So there you go.
There you
So,
go.
yeah, here is your chance to get your words in front of all the people here.
Yeah. And one of the award winners, Manuel Perez Quinones, and today's keynote will be at the 10 a.m. show here tomorrow.
All right.
So that'll be fun and exciting.
And brush up on your Spanish.
And brush it. Well, they said they'd let me stay this time, so
Yes.
we will see.
Yes.
All right, everyone at home, thank you so much for joining us here on day one, on the Thursday of the SIGCSE Technical Symposium. This is the 56th Technical Symposium. Take care. Be safe.
2 more days to go.
2 more days to go. Bye.